He said, then he charged his disciples that they should tell no man that he was YESHUA the Messiah. And from that time forth he began to show unto his disciples how that he must go into Jerusalem and suffer many things of the elders and chief priests and scribes, and be killed and be raised again the third day. And then Peter took him and began to rebuke him, saying, be it far from thee, Lord. This shall not be unto thee. So now he began to show them the grievous vision. He began to show them the grievous vision. He began to show them that he must suffer. That's the grievous vision right there. He had to show them that he must suffer. We had to sit back and look at that. Y'all being shown that you must suffer for the word. A lot of y'all don't want to do it. A lot of y'all don't want to suffer in the flesh. You don't want to deny yourself. You're actually enemies of the cross. And Lord will, we're going to get into it a little deeper. A lot of y'all are willing to come down instead of having people come up. That's what y'all really into. And that's why your wounds are not going to be healed. That's why your iniquities are not going to be healed. Because you got too much compromise in you. Some of y'all got too much slickness in you. Some of you too smart for your own good, which just goes to show you dumb as a box of rocks. Yeah, sit back and look at it. If you know your way was not working, why would you say, okay, I'm going to take on God's way, and then still try to fit your way in with God's way? If you knew your way didn't work in the first place, why would you do that? What type of sense does that make? You know what I'm talking about? Look here, all of us been guilty of it. You've been guilty of it. Trying to fit your way in with God's way a time or two. All of us been, I've been guilty of it. I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, I ain't never did it. All of us been guilty of it. And you know what happened when you did it? He ended up making you look like a fool, didn't he? Straight up and down, every single time. Made me look like a fool. You know what? It took one time for me to try to fit my way in with God. Well, I said, all right, I ain't going to try about this no more. I'm talking about he smashed the whole play, and like I said, nigga, I had already warned you through other people not to go do that, and you went and tried to do it anyway. Guess what? Not only is that not going to work, but the little bit you had, I'll make sure you lose all of that, and now you're at ground zero. Because that's how it works. That's what happens when you try to fit God's way in, your way in with God's way. We can't try to fit iniquity. Go to Habakkuk chapter 1. You can't even fit iniquity in with righteousness. You can't even fit that in there, and that's where we mess up at. We try to fit our way in with God's way. That's right where we mess up at. And the worst part is, we too dumb to realize that's what we doing and wonder why the stuff blow up in your face. Let's see which one it is. What is it, chapter 2? Oh, here it is, chapter 1. About verse 11. Now make it 12. He said, art thou not from everlasting, O Yah, my God? My Kodesh one, we shall not die, O Yah. Thou hast ordained them for judgment, O mighty God. Thou hast established them for correction. So it's looking now, he's sitting here talking about our enemies while we in captivity. He done appointed these people to judgment. And he done established them to correct us, because he told you I moved you to jealousy with a foolish people. Look what else he say though. Thou art purer eyes than to behold evil, and cannot look on iniquity. Now what would come in your mind about his eyes are too pure to behold evil and not look on iniquity? What come to your mind, boy? When he turned away from his son, he couldn't look. His son was bearing the iniquities of the world. Come on over here to John chapter 2. That might be what I want. It could be Luke chapter 15. I mean Romans chapter 15. But let me see if John chapter 2 what I want. Yeah, Romans chapter 15 is what I want. Romans chapter 15 about verse 1. His eyes was too pure to look on iniquity. I would say, my God, why have you forsaken me? Man said he got a grievous vision. He said, we then that are strong ought to bear the infirmities of the weak, and not to please ourselves, and let every one of us please his neighbor for his good to edification. For even as the Messiah pleased not himself, but as it is written, the reproaches of them that reproach thee fell on me. That's one of our biggest problems. See, we still looking to please ourselves. And how are we looking to please ourselves? By still trying to fulfill the lust of our flesh and what seemed right in our eyesight. And that's why God turned himself from it. Go back to this Habakkuk chapter 1 and verse 13. That's why he turned himself from you. Look what else it said, because it's testimony of the Lord now. Look what he tell you now. Thou art pure eyes and to behold evil, and cannot look on iniquity. He said, wherefore thou look upon them that deal treacherously, and hold thy tongue when the wicked devour the man that is more righteous than he. Now he's sitting here telling you, how can you sit back and you not have your eyes upon a man who's being devoured by men who are less righteous than he is? You know, that can also go back to who tried to eat up a man who was more righteous than he was. Exactly. Praise the Lord. That's what I'm talking about. My man. Why that nigga say my nigga? 1 Samuel 15. That's what I'm talking about. I didn't want y'all to hear what it say. 1 Samuel 15. Samuel 15 and about verse 25. He said, now therefore I pray thee, pardon my sin, turn again with me that I may worship Yah. And Samuel said unto Saul, I will return with thee, for thou hast rejected the word of Yah, and Yah hath rejected thee for being king over Israel. And as Samuel turned about to go away, he laid hold upon the skirt of his mantle, and it rent. Now you sitting back looking at that. Now hold on. And Samuel said unto him, Yah have rent the kingdom of Israel from thee this day, and have given it to a neighbor of thine that is better than thou. And once after that done, what did Saul seek to do with it? Saul seek to kill David after this. His whole objective was to kill this man after this. Look at the 16th chapter of this very same book. You see about verse 14. But the spirit of Yah departed from Saul, and the evil spirit from Yah troubled him. And Saul's servant said unto him, behold now, an evil spirit from God trouble thee. Let our Lord now command thy servants which are before thee, to seek out a man who's a cunning player on the harp. And it shall come to pass, when the evil spirit from God is upon thee, that he shall play with his hand, and thou shalt be well. Now we just read that for one reading alone. Y'all will sit around and y'all can play with the Lord how you want, and you're going to get a wrong spirit. You're going to talk about you seeking the man Ruach HaKodesh, and this man going to send a spirit to trouble you and to destroy and to tear down every single thing that you do. On difference that you ain't going to have no cunning man playing on no harp, so that evil spirit leaves you. Let's sit back and look at that. Same way we can look at that king who he sent a lion spirit to. You know what I'm talking about? You got a lot of these Hebrew Israelites, they running out here. The Lord said lion spirits come unto them and put stuff in their head. Let them think, hey man, that's right. Because he say, I will give you a strong delusion to believe lies, because when I called, you did not answer, and delighted to do things that were evil in my eyesight. You have to sit back and look at that. And these were men who had a fashion in their mind that they were straight. You know what I'm talking about? Saul said that thinking, I'm straight. Samuel just told this man, you were done. You know what I'm talking about? Then we just read a couple weeks ago how he saw other familiar spirits and he got killed for that. He's still supposed to know, man, I'm done. Now how you going to sit back and look at it, Lord come tell you through a man you know is a man of God, you know a prophet of God, he tell you, look at man, you're done. How would you feel if this man, son of man, will tell you, thus saith Yah, I'm going to kill you and take everything you got from you. You still gonna sit here and walk around like, shoot, man, I'm straight, man. That nigga ain't really good, man. And you gotta sit back and look at it, what Saul got brought on him from his behavior, from his disobedience. Because he thought what he was doing was right when it was wrong. He told you, kill all these people, don't spare nothing. He didn't do it. I told you explicitly what to do. You still chose not to do it. And I sent you a man of God to tell you what to do. And you still did what you wanted to do. So therefore, you know what? I'm straight. Because you know what happened? He tried to fit his way in with God's way and thought his way would be pleasing to God. And they found out it ended up getting him cut off. Because you can't merge your way with God's way. I seen somebody mocking the Lord the other day. Isaiah 55, he tell you my thoughts are higher than your thoughts and my ways are not your ways. Seeing what we try to do, we try to be smarter than God. You end up saying, you stupid. See, hold on. Go over here to the book of Psalms. We'll get back to dealing with this Isaiah 21. We done already established that that's about the Lord in Habakkuk 1 and 13. And maybe we'll go back a little further. I think it's about Psalm 132. It might not be. It might be Psalm 125. Let me see which one it is. Psalms 131 verse 1. See, this is the reason why a lot of people not going to be saved. Because you don't have it in mind to sit back and look at it. Because you think you're wrong. See, you look on the fact of you think you're wrong. But in the eyesight of God, we his children. That's why he treats us as children. Psalms 131:1. Y'all, my heart is not haughty, nor my eyes lofty. Neither do I exercise myself in great matters or things too high for me. You know what that basically saying in federal government terms? You was in the service, right? What that basically saying according to somebody that's in the service? Huh? He said, I don't, my heart's not haughty, meaning I'm not proud. My eyes are not lofty, and I don't exercise myself in matters that's too high for me. When you was in the service, what do people tell you? That's above your pay grade. See, a lot of you niggas be worrying about stuff that's above your pay grade. I'm just gonna be dead honest with you. A lot of y'all ask questions and seek answers and stuff that's above your pay grade. Come on over here to First Chronicles. I want to say it is. You gotta sit back and be careful with that. Dealing with stuff that's above your pay grade, it gets you cut off. I'm gonna show you an example of it. It might be First Kings. Perry, you should know who we going to talk about. Who you think we finna go talk about, Perry? Who you think we finna go read about? Huh? You know who we finna go read about? Let me find it.
You said what?
I think it's First Kings. We finna go read about King Uzziah. That's who we finna go read about. Yeah, I got you, man. I just got to drop one out here. Let me find this here what I want, man. I just was looking at this the other day. Let me get in where I want, and nowhere near Kings. Just steady looking at Chronicles. Y'all just bear with me. I'm getting where we need to go. Mom, you alright over there? That's right. She got them teeth coming in now. Yeah, she going a little bit harder than what Leah did. Leah took teeth. Yeah, Leah took teeth and pretty smooth, smoother than most of them. Oh. You gotta sit back and look at that all. I ain't hit y'all with some of y'all with that line too often, but I think I'm gonna have to start hitting y'all with it more often than not. Cause a lot of y'all be seeking the stuff higher than your pay grade, and when you be messing around seeking stuff that's above your pay grade, you've been around the Lord, been done did something too. Cause you got to know your place and know your spot. You can't always be worrying about, well, why this or why that or why this or why that. All you got to do is be patient. Lord will show it to you. When he wants you to know something and he wants you to see, he'll show it to you. 2 Chronicles 26 chapter. Yeah, 2 Chronicles 26. Let's start at about verse 9. He said, moreover, Uzziah built towers in Jerusalem at the corner gate and at the valley gate and at the turning of the wall and fortified them. And he also built towers in the desert and digged many wells, for he had much cattle, both in the low country and in the plains, husbandmen also, and vine dressers in the mountains and in Carmel, for he loved husbandry. Moreover, Uzziah had a host of fighting men that went out to war by bands according to the number of their account, by the hand of Jeiel the scribe and Messiah the ruler, under the hand of Hananiah, one of the king's captains. The whole number of the chief of the fathers of the mighty men of valor were 2,600. And under their hand was an army, 300,000, 7,500, that made war with mighty power to help the king against the enemy. And Uzziah prepared for them throughout all the whole shields and spears, helmets and habergeons, and bows and slings to cast stones. And he made in Jerusalem engines invented by cunning men, to be on towers and upon the bulwarks, to shoot out arrows and great stones withal. And his name spread far abroad, for he was marvelously helped, till he was strong. But when he was strong, his heart was lifted up to his destruction. For he transgressed against Yah his God, and went into the temple of Yah, to burn incense upon the altar of incense. And Azariah the priest went in after him, and with him 80 priests of Yah that were valiant men. And they withstood Uzziah the king, and said unto him, It pertained not unto thee. It pertained not unto thee, Uzziah, to burn incense unto Yah, but to the priests, the sons of Aaron, that are consecrated to burn incense, go out of the sanctuary, for thou hast trespassed, neither shall it be for thine honor from Yah. Then Uzziah was wrong, and that's how some of y'all get. You find out stuff is above your pay grade, it don't pertain to you, and you get mad, just like Uzziah did. And let's see what the Lord did to him. And had a censer in his hand to burn incense, and while he was wroth with the priest, the leprosy even rolled up in his forehead before the priest in the house of Yah, and from beside the incense altar. And Azariah the chief priest and all the priests looked upon him, behold, he was leprous in his forehead, and they thrust him out from thence. Yea, himself hasted also to go out, because Yah had smitten him. And Uzziah the king was a leper unto the day of his death, and dwelt in a several house, being a leper, for he was cut off from the house of Yah. So if he was cut off from the house of Yah, what that mean? He was cut out the body. Remember, the house of Yah signifying the body. Remember, he said, upon this rock I built my synagogue, I built my house. And Jotham his son was over the king's house, judging all the people of the land. Now the rest of the acts of Uzziah, first and last, did Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amos, write. So Uzziah slept with his fathers, and they buried him with his fathers in the field of the burial, which belonged to the kings, for they said, he is a leper. And Jotham his son reigned in his stead. So if he went in here to burn this incense, and they told him he was wrong, if he a king, what was he supposed to already know? Boy? He king, what was he supposed to already know? Exactly. Deuteronomy 17 chapter. You already supposed to know the law. And that's how some of y'all is. Y'all know stuff wrong. You get told stuff don't pertain to you. You get mad. You already know you wrong, and you gonna mess around and end up like Uzziah. You gonna get cut off.
You said what?
Deuteronomy 17. About verse 13. You gonna end up just like Uzziah, because you around here lifting yourself up in matters that ain't got nothing to do with you. Can't sit back and follow. That's mom dudes, like you supposed to do. He said, and the people shall hear and fear, and do no more presumptuously. When thou art come into the land which Yah thy God give thee, and thou shalt possess it, and shalt dwell therein, and shalt say, I shall set a king over me, like as all the nations that are about me. Thou shalt say in any wise, set him king over thee, whom Yah thy God shall choose, one from among thy brethren. Shalt thou set king over thee. Thou may not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. But he shall not multiply horses to himself, nor cause the people to return to Egypt, to the end that he should multiply horses. For as much as Yah has said unto you, you shall henceforth no more return that way. Neither shall he multiply wives to himself, that his heart turn not away. Neither shall he greatly multiply to himself silver and gold. And it shall be when he sit upon the throne of his kingdom, that he shall write him a copy of this law in a book out of that which is before the priests, the Levites. And it shall be with him, and he shall read therein all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear Yah his God, to keep all the words of this law and these statutes, and do them. So King Uzziah is supposed to know he had no business going in there burning no incense. He's supposed to know that. But see, well, you know what happens? Some, like I said, some of y'all know what you're not supposed to do, but you exercise yourself in matters that don't pertain to you, and you end up doing just like Uzziah. And when you told that don't pertain to you, guess what's going to happen? You're going to hell. Because you're going to step out your bounds. Don't get above your pay grade, man. God got you in the slot. Be content in your slot. If he would have saw fit to give you a job, he would have hired you. If he ain't hired you, he don't worry about it. Come on back to Psalm 131 and 1. That's why he told you to obey them that have rule over you, for they watch for your soul. They don't pertain to you. What you worry about it for? Only time you're supposed to be listening for something, you're supposed to be listening for the voice of the Lord. You don't hear the voice of the Lord when something's going on, then you know, hey, I don't need to be messed up with that. But see, a lot of times y'all don't hear the voice of the Lord because you're not a God anyway. Because you ain't seeking to hear the truth. You seeking to point out when he's wrong. He's saying he's doing this here because you hate God. Just got to be honest with yourself and be honest with everybody else. Just tell the truth. I hate God. I hate all manner of authority. The only authority I respect is my own. He said, Yah, my heart is not haughty, nor my eyes lofty, neither do I exercise myself in great matters or in things too high for me. Surely I have behaved and quieted myself as a child that is weaned of his mother. My soul is even as a weaned child. Come on over here to Matthew chapter 18. Matthew chapter 18 and about verse 3. Matter of fact, make it 1. He said, at the same time came the disciples unto Yeshua, saying, who's the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And Yeshua called a little child unto him, and set him in the midst of them, and said, truly I say unto you, except ye be converted, and become as little children, you shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Look at Malachi chapter 3. That's what it's about. See, little children, they take correction from their parents. They seek to follow after their parents and to do the things that please them. This man said, if you can't be changed into as being as a child, you're not getting in. Because you know why you're not going? Because your heart going to be lifted up. Because that's what little bastard children do. That's why the law told you, if you got a little child in the house, you got a son and he's a drunkard and a glutton and he don't want to listen to it, he said take him out in the street and stone him. And that's what the Lord gonna do with kids, or with kids, because truth be told, it wouldn't matter if you 65 or 35 or 25 or 15. If you don't want to humble yourself to the obedience of the word, he gonna take you out in the street and he gonna stone you. Malachi chapter 3, verse 17. He said, they shall be mine, saith Yahweh of hosts. Oh, somebody got the feedback going on mail. In that day when I make up my jewels, and I will spare them, as a man that spares his own son that serveth. Because when you sit back and you look at that one parable, he say, which one of them did their father's will when he told them to go work in my vineyard? And one say, I'ma go, but he didn't go. Then he had the other one say, I don't want to go, but he repented himself and went. He said, which one of them did the will of his father? He said, the one that went. That's the type of mind you got to have. You got to humble yourself down and say, this is what my father instructed me to do. I'm going to go do it. Come on over here to 1 Peter chapter 1, about verse 13. Let's look how Peter referred to you as. Because that's the problem with a lot of us. You think you grown. Lord finna tell you, you ain't grown in his eyesight till you've been made perfect. You far from grown. Because that's what it means to mature in the word. That's why he say, we'll read it in a moment. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 13. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 13. He said, wherefore gird up the loins of your mind and be sober, and hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Yeshua the Messiah, as obedient children. Because he said he behaved himself as a weaned child. Say he was quieted. You know, if a child is quiet, that means what just happened with Liz. That means you're at peace. You're not at peace, you're disobedient to God's word. He said, not fashioning yourselves according to the former lust in your ignorance. Now that's one thing when you went after things and you lusted after things when you didn't know no better. Some of y'all know better and you still go after stuff you ain't got no business. I don't understand it whatsoever. You can't be that dumb. Well, actually, obviously you can be. He said, but he which hath called you is Kodesh, so be ye Kodesh in all manner of behavior. Because it is written, be ye Kodesh, for I am Kodesh. That's the end of that. If you're going to sit here and say, I desire to be a son or daughter of the living God, then you're going to have to set yourself apart. Just going to have to do it. Let's go back to Isaiah chapter 21, because we got to deal with that. Maybe we'll deal with setting yourself apart in a moment. We got to deal with that. Let's go back to Isaiah chapter 21. Read that one more time. So now you see a grievous vision is declared unto me. So we looked and we seen in Matthew 16 that Yeshua was declaring that grievous vision. And you know what Peter told him? Let's go back and look what Peter told him. Let's show an example of what I'm talking about here. Let's look what Peter told him in Matthew 16. Let's look what Peter told him. It's about verse 22, I'm not mistaken. It's 23. But 22 good enough. Let's look what he told him. He said, then Peter took him and began to rebuke him, saying, be it far from thee, Lord, this shall not be unto thee. But he turned and said unto Peter, get thee behind me, Satan. Thou art an offense unto me. For thou savorest not the things that be of God, but those that be of men. Now you sit back and look at it. A lot of y'all, Satan is not an offense to you. Because when this man come up and situations come up where you can sit there and you can say for the things that are men and not of God, you go right after them. Come on over here, Galatians the 5th chapter. A lot of y'all go right after. You should be savoring the things of God. When you sit back and you see your flesh welling up, that ought to be an offense to you. When people sit back, and you got to remember, Satan means adversary. So when you got people or things, places or things or thoughts that's coming up, that's the adversary getting you to go contrary. And you see yourself going contrary every time, it's because he's not an offense to you. You take pleasure in unrighteousness. And just like the book say, knowing the judgment of God, that those who do such things are worthy of death. You take pleasure in it. Galatians chapter 5, about verse 16. He said, but this I say then, walk in the Spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusts against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that you cannot do the things that ye would. But if you be led of the Spirit, you are not under the law. And we know there's no condemnation that are in the Spirit in the Messiah Yeshua. I mean, you're not under the penalty of the law. You're not going to receive death because you're walking in life. When you sit back and you fulfill your flesh, because that was the flesh talking when Peter said that wasn't nothing. And you see what the Lord told him, man, get behind me, Satan. Man, you want the things that's a man, not a God. Men want to live. Men don't want to die. Your flesh wants to live. It doesn't want to die. That's why he told you watch and pray. Because the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. The flesh desires to live. And a lot of y'all lean to the flesh, and you still want to hold on to it because you savor the things that are of men and not of God. And that's why you're not going to be saved if you don't destroy that. You still leaning on, I want to do what I want to do versus what my father say do. Which means you are a bastard. That has to weigh off in your mind. Are you going to be a son or are you going to be a bastard? Because sons seek to do the things that please. That's why he said we'll seek back and we'll be able to discern between the righteous and the unrighteous. Those that do the will of God and those who don't. That has to resonate in your brain. Come on back to Isaiah 21. So when he declared this grievous vision under Peter, that's why Peter first reaction, Lord, that's not going to happen. He said, son, that got to happen. It has to happen. And guess what? For us to be saved, that means that that same grievous vision of having to die, that has to happen. That has to happen. You have to humble your... Matter of fact, we'll get to it in a minute. Hold on. He said, therefore are my loins filled with pain. Pains have taken hold upon me as the pains of a woman that travailed. I was bowed down at the hearing of it. I was dismayed at the seeing of it. My heart panted. Filthiness affrighted me. The night of my pleasure have he turned into fear unto me. He said, prepare ye the table. Prepare the table. Watch in the watchtower. Eat, drink, arise ye princes, and anoint the shield. Now what do we get out of that right there, boy? Preparing the table. Watching in the tower. Eating and drinking. Then let's get up and anoint the shield. No? You got anything for me? You ain't got nothing for me? No. Well, come on and let's see. First, see how his loins were. We'll come back to how his loins were filled with this here. Let's go on over here to Matthew chapter 26. That's how some of y'all feel when it comes down to crucifying your flesh. You feel with fear and loathsome because you're stepping in somewhere you ain't never been before. You begin to find out things about yourself that you might have not known existed, or you knew that was there that you didn't want to deal with. Because you wanted to continually deceive yourself as if you were straight. Matter of fact, come on, hold this here. Come on over here to James chapter 1. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. James chapter 1. About verse 21. Thank the Lord. He said, wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness. So this man said you need to nail all that filth that's on your body. Whether I'm talking about your body, washing your behind, the filth that's in your heart, in your spirit, all that superfluity, all that naughty behavior, all that pride, all that trying to be slick, all that stuff. You gotta lay that stuff to the side. He said, and receive with meekness, receive with humility, the engrafted word which is able to save your soul. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. But if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass, and behold himself, and he go his way, and straightway forget what manner of man he was. That's how some of y'all live. You hear the word, you not doing it, and you like somebody, you looking at your face in the glass, but you not really seeing yourself for who you is. As soon as you walk off, you forget how you were looking. I know you a woman, y'all be in the mirror all the time, though. No? So you don't be in the mirror all the time. So you're going to sit here and tell that bold-faced lie from everybody. Well, I mean, you shame to say you be in the mirror all the time? You be in the mirror all the time? Yeah. See? Yeah. Stay in the mirror. He ain't ashamed to tell you. Take a self, I got to make sure I ain't got no boogers in there. You know what I'm talking about? I don't care nothing about it. These busting mucus, man. Got to get rid of it. Got to make sure hey, man, you don't want no booger hanging out your nose. I'm real friend. If I have boogers, you won't tell me. Oh, I'll tell you. I pick on you first, and then I'll tell you. Well, you would kind of figure it out after I get finished picking on you. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? You figure it out. I'll tell you. Don't think I ain't going to tell you. Like I said, man, you got a book in there, man. Got some snot hanging out your nose. Might want to do something about that. But you know what I'm talking about? But you ever sit back and you look in the mirror, your clothes all messed up, you got stains everywhere, you just walk right on off like it ain't even there. Then you forgot it's there. And that's how some of y'all live. You hear the word, you're not doing it, you're doing the parts that's convenient for you. That's what you're doing. Matter of fact, come on over here to Romans chapter 11. So a lot of y'all, you do the parts that's convenient for you. You ain't doing the stuff what God tell you. You just do it when it's convenient for you, when it suits your taste. When the word don't suit your taste, you don't want to do it. Romans chapter 11 by verse 7. Matter of fact, make a chapter verse 4. Romans 11 4. What? Breathing on hard sign and whatnot. Sore. Sore from what? He ain't sore from no work. He ain't living with no weight. He ain't dead. Man, he ain't moving no weight. They done squatted 5 pounds. I think they doing something. Niggas keep body weight squats. No, cut the joke. Oh, you see a smile on my face, a jovial tone? Why are you squatting by the way? Yeah. I would dance. Yeah, I had a squat lightweight this week. Carry on. He said, but what saith the answer of God unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. Even so, at this present time, also is there a remedy according to the election of grace. And if it by grace, then it is no more of works. Otherwise, grace is no more grace. But if it be of works, then it is no more grace. Otherwise, work is no more work. All he's sitting there telling you, God done chose somebody, and it wasn't based off nothing they did. He chose them because I chose them. It was nothing or any work they did, because then if it wasn't grace, then grace wouldn't be undeserved favor, wouldn't be a gift. He said, what then? Israel had not obtained that which he seek for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest was blinded. So get what? He said, this people ain't got what they seek for. He said the election. The being chosen is what got him. But he said, guess what? Some of them blind. And look what he said. According as it is written, God has given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear unto this day. And David said, let their table be made a snare and a trap and a stumbling block and a recompense unto them. So you know what he's telling you? These feast days and these Sabbath days, and just because you do that there, you think you're straight? He said, no, that's going to be a trap so you can go to hell. Because you might be doing that, but it's a whole lot of other stuff you got going on. Oh, you don't eat no pork chops and shrimp? That's great. But guess what? You still going to hell because it's a whole bunch of other stuff you got going on. That's how some of y'all think, I don't eat no pork, but I keep the Sabbath, so I'm straight. No, but if it was that easy, everybody be saved, wouldn't it? You think it's that hard to abstain from not eating a pork chop? It ain't that difficult. I just ain't going to eat it. Think it's that hard to say, you know what, Saturday, man, I ain't working, I ain't doing this here. That ain't that hard. But guess what? Your heart is not right because your heart is lifted up in naughtiness. Still got pride in there because you haven't behaved yourself as a child. You haven't humbled yourself to the word. You haven't gone after God with your full heart. That's why it be getting fearful and be perplexing and grievous unto you when your sins are made manifest to you and you see that you're not straight and you still got to change. You still got to die. That's why I grieve it to you. He said, let their eyes be darkened that they may not see and bow down their back all ways. So you know what he's sitting there telling you? He said, guess what? Since they act like that, make it horrible for them. Just make things just right outright horrible for them. You don't want to get caught up like, I'm telling you, Some of y'all done came across a lot of people that think they straight just because they keep a Saturday. You know what I'm saying? And some of y'all done came with that same mentality. I'm straight. No. If you were straight, you would have the man spirit then. If you were straight, you wouldn't see yourself in a cycle of the same idiotic and stupid repetitive behavior that you've been doing your entire life. You would have been done broke that cycle. You would have been eliminated that. So that means if you haven't done that, you're not straight. What was that beforehand? Matthew 26. Matthew 26, verse 1. He said, it came to pass, when YESHUA had finished all these sayings, he said unto the disciples, ye know that after 2 days is the feast of the Passover. The Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified. Then assembled together the chief priests and the scribes and the elders of the people unto the palace of the high priest, who was called Caiaphas. And they consulted that they may take YESHUA by subtlety and kill him. But they said, not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar among the people. Now when YESHUA was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. And when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. When YESHUA understood, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For you have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she had poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Truly I say unto you, whosoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this that this woman hath done be told for a memorial of her. Now they said that they would anoint the shield. Now you see they anointed him before his death. We'll see if he get anointed after his death though. We'll see how he the shield though. Drop down about verse 17. Now the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples came to YESHUA, saying unto him, where wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? Now didn't he say prepare the table? Let's go look at the law and see how you got to prepare the table. Exodus chapter 12. Exodus chapter 12, about verse 3. Now when YESHUA spoke to them, that was the 12th day of the first month. He said, speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for a house. If the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall you make your count for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year, and ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take the blood and strike it on the two side posts and on the upper door posts of the houses wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. So let's go back. Now they said they got to eat the flesh of this lamb in that night. And he told them, prepare the table, eat and drink, and let's arise and watch. This is what he told them. This is what Isaiah said. Now this division he get. Let's go back to Matthew 26 now. This division that he get. Where we at now? Verse 17. Now the first day of the feast of unleavened bread, the disciples came to YESHUA, saying unto him, where wilt thou that we prepare for thee to eat the Passover? He said, go into the city to such a man, and say unto him, the master saith, my time is at hand. I will keep the Passover at thy house with my disciples. And the disciples did as YESHUA appointed them, and they made ready the Passover. Now when the even was come, he sat down with the 12. Now the law said you got to eat this at even. He told them, prepare a table. Have they not just prepared the table? Now he told them they need to eat and drink. Let's go around here about verse 22. Let's look at verse 22, and let me jump back over here to Isaiah. Let's see what Isaiah said. Now, because he said, his heart panted and fearfulness affrighted him because the night of his pleasure. Because don't you think it's a pleasurable thing to have a feast? He said the night of his pleasure has been turned into fear unto him. See what he said here in verse 22. And they were, well, this is than when he told him somebody was betraying him. He said, they were exceedingly sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto him, Lord, is it I? And he answered and said, He that dipped his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. The Son of Man go as it is written of him. But woe unto that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It had been good for that man if he had not been born. Remember, he declared a grievous vision unto him. Then Judas, which betrayed him, answered and said, Master, is it I? He said unto him, Thou hast said. And as they were eating, YESHUA took bread and blessed it and brake it and gave it to the disciples and said, Take, eat, this is my body. And he took a cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, Drink ye all of it, for this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. So now we just sit back and see he prepared the table and they just ate and drank it. Now he sit back and said the law said they had to eat this lamb and this bread in the same night, didn't it? Now you just sit back and you see these people consume this man's flesh. You alright over there? Hit your husband in the head. I don't know. I can't see. Look like a Chinese person from here. Kind of like out my eyesight range. I only got about a 2 feet minimum. And that's not being humorous either. Really can't see that far. It's really troubling me right now. No, I'm talking about I really can't. Like his eyes are closed. No, I really look like his eyes are closed from here. But yes, I am. I can't see things far away. You know what I'm saying? I'm not blind. I mean that everything would be. I couldn't see nothing. I'm just saying, you don't want to say I'm blind. You carry you out of here, you won't. You won't help.
Yeah, I'll help.
You say you'll help and carry you out of here. But now you sit back and look at it. They done fulfilled this law. They sat down in the evening and ate this lamb and ate this bread. But not only that, they done taken this man in his body, and they done sat down and they done drank and they done ate. But now he said they need to arise, and that he says they need to watch in the watchtower. So let's see about this here. Let's drop down about verse 36. Then come YESHUA with them unto a place called Jessamine, and said unto his disciples, Sit ye here while I go and pray yonder. And he took with him Peter and the 2 sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy. And he said unto him, My soul is exceeding sorrowful even unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me. And he went a little further and fell on his face, prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt. So even in the face of this fearful vision, his loins being filled with pain, pangs them taken hold of. So he was bowed down at the hearing of it, and dismayed at the seeing of it. You don't think he would bow down on his face when he was praying? Let's see if we got one. I know it's one. He said he fell on his face. Go to Luke chapter 22. It's amazing how this man be all through here. And people really just can't see it. Luke chapter 22, about verse 39. People like Buddy said, we just butchered the whole book then. That man said that is the most, that's what he said, the most horrible thing. He said it's the most horrible thing I ever heard. And he came out and went, and as he was wont, to the Mount of Olives, and his disciples followed him. And when he was at that place, he said unto them, Pray that you enter not into temptation. And when withdrawn for them by the stone's cast, he kneeled down and prayed, saying, Father, if thou be willing, remove this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but thine be done. And there appeared an angel unto him from heaven, strengthening him. And being in agony, he prayed more earnestly. And his sweat was as it were great drops of blood falling to the ground. Sounded like a woman who filled with travail, lamb. Did you sweat pretty good when you were giving birth to them? Ain't that what he said? He said, my loins are filled with pain. Pain's taking hold of me as a woman in travail. I bowed down at the hearing of it. I'm dismayed at the seeing of it. And he rose up from prayer and was come to his disciples, and he found them sleeping for sorrow, and said unto them, Why sleep ye? Rise and pray, lest you enter into temptation. And that's what a lot of y'all doing. You don't watch. That's why you enter into temptation. And a lot of times when that temptation comes, you fall, because you weren't watching. See, y'all still sitting there telling y'all better watch. Because when you ain't watching, the enemy can get you. Come on around here to 1 Peter chapter 5. We come back to Matthew. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 6. He said, humble yourselves therefore under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time. That's why you got to be as a small child, as obedient children, because you've humbled yourself under the authority of your father. He says, casting all your care upon him, for he cares for you. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walk about seeking whom he may devour, whom resist steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world. So guess what? If you know your brethren that are in the world who following after God, that this man will seek to devour them, what makes you think he wouldn't seek to devour you? Because you're not watching, you're not paying attention, and you're not being sober, you're not fighting that fight, and guess what? He's going to walk up on you, he's going to eat you up. That's why he said that, tell him, you need to watch. Look, go back to Luke chapter 22, look what he told people. Look what he told Peter in verse 31. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not. And when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. See, you had a lot of people, they sat there and told him. See, it's a lot of people, they think that these men had the Spirit while they were with him. But you see what he told them? He said, when you converted. See, when you take on that Spirit, you become a son of God. That means you done been humbled. You have humbled yourself unto the Word. You have been changed. That's how we're going to be able to enter into the kingdom of heaven, because we can humble ourselves down as a child. If we lack that humility, you're going to end up like King Uzziah. You're going to be told, no, don't do that. That's not your play. But you're going to be lifted up in your heart, and you're going to be like, you know what? I'm going to do that, because that pertains to me. I'm a son of God. I'm this. God with me. God with me. And you're going to end up like him, a leper, cast out and cut off from the house of God. Then what? Then what? You have to wait and consider that out. Then what? Come on back over here to let's see when he tell him to arise. And let's go back over here to Matthew 26. Oh, we had on the time. We good. Back to Matthew 26. Because now you need to tell them to arise so they can anoint the shield. Okay, we good. Matthew chapter 26. Let's look at about verse 43. He said, he came and found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy. He said, he left them and went away again and prayed the third time, saying the same word. You got to know the black folk, because they done sat there and ate, they want to go to sleep. You didn't say that, though. That's what you like to do when you get full, like. Not really. You like to eat and go to sleep, don't you? That's what most black people like to do. You niggas get their stomach full, they want to go to sleep. No. I don't know, man. Niggas good for it. Niggas ain't even got to eat that big. Nigga eat, go right to sleep. He don't even live here. Nigga fall right to sleep in the house. He said, then he come to the. He said, then come he to his disciples and saith unto them, sleep on now and take your rest. Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Say, rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that doth betray me. So now we see Isaiah. You had these people sit back and look at that. That's talking about the Lord. Whole evening of his death. Him crying out because of his flesh seeking the things that were pleasing of men. He like this here. We had already dealt with that cup. He said, he that judged that cup, he ain't going to drink it. He said, he surely going to drink it. We see the whole evening being laid out. But see, hold on. Look at verse 6. And then we come back to see how. Because you see, he called them princes. What you remember about them princes, what? He called them princes. Why would he call them princes? What is another word for princes? Pale, Terrell, Barry, Glover. What's another name for princes? Dear, who know what another name for prince is? Huh? A ruler. That would be a ruler. Now why would he sit there and call these men saying, arise ye princes? You just seen YESHUA tell his disciples, arise ye princes. What that bring back to memory for? What did he promise them 12 men? Don't nobody remember what he promised these 12 men? Brother, you don't remember what he promised these 12 men? Barry, what did he promise these 12 men? Barry, what did he promise? Well, it ain't been that long since we dealt with that. Y'all done forgot already. What he promised Ishmael? Remember what he promised Ishmael? Huh? Genesis chapter 17. Yeah. Genesis chapter 17. Genesis chapter 17. Let's see what it is, what I want. Genesis chapter 17, by verse 20. Genesis 17 and 20. Because remember, he said, arise ye princes. You right, but the reason I just didn't ask you, I just got to get y'all used to thinking it in your mind and not speaking it. He said, as for Ishmael, I have heard thee, behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget. I will make him a great nation. Isaiah 32 and 1. This will help this out for some of y'all on here. He never heard it before. Isaiah 32 and 1. He said, behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment. So now he said there's a king that's going to reign in righteousness, and there's going to be some princes that's going to rule with him in judgment. Luke chapter 22. About verse 29, make it 26, 28. Luke chapter 22, verse 28. He said, ye are they which have continued with me in my temptations, and I appoint unto you a kingdom. So if he appointed a kingdom, that means he got to be a king. Because look what he said, as my Father have appointed unto me, that ye may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom, and sit on thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So that means they princes. Then he said eating and drinking at his table. Come on over here to Revelation chapter 3. See, a lot of y'all don't want to eat and drink at the table of the Lord. You want to eat and drink at your own table. That's why you're going to bust hell wide open. You don't want to sit down and eat and drink with the Lord. Revelation 3 and 20. Revelation 3 and 20. He said, behold, I stand at the door and knock. And if any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. I want y'all to keep that verse 20 in mind, because Lord willing, we're going to come back to that in the daytime. We're not going to deal with it tonight. Lord willing, we're going to come back to that in the daytime. This man said, any man knock. If any man, he stand at the door and he knock, and if you hear his voice, and that's what's wrong with some of y'all. When we was up in Georgia, that was something that he was imparting unto them when he allowed me to speak. See, a lot of people, you're not hearing Yeshua's voice. They're not hearing the voice of Judah, the voice of God. You get stuck on saying, oh, that's just Dwayne talking, or that's just such and such talking, and you're not hearing God talking, and you don't know, when you don't hear God talking, that you can end up running your mouth, and you're actually talking against him, and you're going to go to hell. Because you can't distinguish between the man and the spirit that's within the man. See, I'll show you something now. Hold this here. We'll come back to that there. Matthew, I think it's 13. Matthew 13, if I'm not mistaken. Matter of fact, it might be Luke chapter 12. It might be Luke chapter 12. That will come in mind. Come on over here, Luke chapter 12. That will come in mind. Yes, it is. Praise the Lord. Luke chapter 12. About verse 11. Luke chapter 12. About verse 11. And when they bring you into the synagogues and unto magistrates and powers, take ye no thought how or what thing ye shall answer, or what ye shall say. For the Ruach HaKodesh shall teach you in the same hour what you ought to say. And you know, another part, he say it's the Spirit of the Father which speak in you. So that's when you have to sit back and look at it. That's why he said he that is of God, hear God's word. He said, if I be man who's telling you the truth as Abraham did, why you don't believe me? See, some of y'all sit back and look at it is, sometimes a man will be speaking, and it's the Spirit of God that's speaking through him. That's the Spirit of the Lord that's speaking through him. You sit back looking at the outer vessel and the man, and you're not taking heed to listening who is speaking unto you. And you're going to miss who's speaking unto you, and if you miss it then, guess what else you're going to be missing? That means when the word comes, you missing him then. Because you're not listening for him, you're listening to the man instead of listening for the Lord. That's very dangerous. Matter of fact, that's suicidal. Back to Revelation chapter 3. That's why that man say, if you're not and you hear my voice. Did that man say, blessed are those that hear me? He said, that watch daily at my gates. He said, blessed are those that hear me. That man say, my sheep hear my voice. That means you ain't supposed to be listening for me. You're supposed to be listening for the Lord. And if you hear the Lord, why you don't listen to him? It can't be for no other reason, because you're an utter retard. He said, behold, I stand at the door and knock. And if any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and sup with him and he with me. To him that overcome will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I also overcame and sat down with my Father in his throne. He that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the synagogue. That man said, he that have an ear, let him hear, because he said they were going to eat and drink with him at his table. This man just sat here and told you, if you hear his voice, he'll come in and he'll sit down and eat with you. Luke chapter 11. A lot of y'all don't want to sit down and eat with the Lord. You just pump face. This might as well just going to be honest with it. What is it, chapter 2? Oh, here it is, chapter 14, pardon me. Chapter 14 and about verse 15. Listen what this man tells us. He said, when one of them sat at meat with him and heard these things, he said unto him, blessed is he that shall eat bread in the kingdom of God. Be a blessed thing to sit down and eat and drink with the Lord. That's why he said, blessed are those who are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. These things are faithful and true. Look what else he said though. Then he said unto him, a certain man made a great supper and bade men. And he sent a servant at supper time to say to them that were bidden, come, for all things are now ready. And they all with one consent began to make excuse. The first said unto him, I bought a piece of ground, I must needs to go and see it. I pray thee, have me excused. Another said, I bought 5 yoke of oxen, and I go to prove them. I pray thee, have me excused. Another said, I married a wife, therefore I cannot come. So the servant came and showed his lord these things, and the master of the house, being angry, said to his servant, go quickly into the streets and the lanes of the city, and bring in into the poor, and the maimed, and the halt, and the blind. And the servant said, Lord, it is done as thou hast commanded, yet there is room. And the Lord said unto the servant, go out into the highways and hedges, and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled. For I say unto you, that none of those men which were bidden shall taste of my supper. Now you sit back and look at this one here. He said, all these men made up excuses why they couldn't serve God. I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do that. And he said, you know what? Don't even worry about this. But look what he said to go get. The poor, the halt, the maimed, and the blind. What will come to your mind when you hear that word? What did he tell you in Isaiah? Let's see now, because he said he had to anoint the shield. Look at the 61st chapter of Isaiah. He said he got to anoint the shield. He said call the poor, the halt, the maimed, the blind. He said call them. So get what he tell you. Call the humble and the brokenhearted. He said, call those that don't have eyes to see. Isaiah 61 and 1. He said, the Spirit of Yah is upon me, because Yah has anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. So they go to poor. He sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of prison to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of Yah, the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all that mourn. Because don't you think if you poor, and halt and blind, you got a little mourning going on? Remember, he said he came to give sight to the blind. He said, come and bid them. He said, for judgment I've entered into the world, that those that might not see, that they might be able to see. Didn't he tell you, blessed are the meek, for theirs is the kingdom of God? He said, all these other people say, I need to do this over here first. Well, I just got this here done. Let me do this here first, and let me do all this here. That means they were seeking to please the flesh. Because the flesh will have you doing things contrary to the will of God. It's not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. He said, so you know what? He said, they ain't worried. He said, none of these men are eating my stuff. That means you're not getting in the kingdom of God. You had too much stuff going on. God's word wasn't important to you. It wasn't important to you. Everything else you had going on in your life was more important than when God was calling you, because he said, I bid them to the supper. They didn't hear my voice. They heard their own voice. So they hear their voice burning in agony when they taste fire and worm and burn forever. Let's sit back and look at it. Don't you realize this man bidding you to his supper right now? A lot of y'all got excuses why you can't come. Man, I'm trying to get this accomplished. Man, I got this. I got this. I need to do this. I got this. He said, you know what? Don't even worry about it. Just call some other people in and they'll come. Let's see how he anointed the shield, though. Because he told these men to arise and anoint the shield. So let's see how they anoint the shield. But before we do that, see how they anointed the shield. Nehemiah chapter 6 and verse 1. Weigh it out and consider it in your mind. How many of y'all got more excuses on why you can't get in the kingdom of heaven? Why you can't do what God told you? Why you can't follow like you're supposed to? Why you can't obey like you're supposed to? Why you can't sit there and you don't know the difference between my voice and the Lord's voice? No matter, regardless if it's me or another man who's preaching the word, how you can't hear the Lord instead of trying to hear that man, trying to say that's that man talking, that's God talking to you. Nehemiah chapter 6 and verse. Now it came to pass when Sanballat and Tobiah and Geshem the Arabian and the rest of our enemies heard that I builded the wall and that there was no breach left therein, though at that time I had set not up the doors upon the gate. That man said, you know what a breach is, don't you? You know what a breach is? You know what a breach is? What? What about you, Lamar? Exactly. So there's no breaching and there's no breaking. Exactly. There's no breaching. So there's nothing in there broken. Listen what he said, man. Then Sanballat and Geshem said unto me, saying, come, let us meet together in some one of the villages in the plan of Ono, but they sought to do me mischief. And I sent messengers unto them, saying, I'm doing a great work, so that I cannot come down. Why should the work cease while I leave it and come down to you? And you know what that great work is? See, we're supposed to be getting willing to do the work of the Lord. You know what that great work YESHUA had to come do? What did he tell these men? He had a grievous vision about what was going to happen. What was the grievous vision that he had that he told these men was going to happen to him? He was going to have to die. He said, I'm doing a great work. I can't come down to you. Look at John chapter 8. A lot of y'all come down to people and intersperse with hypocrites and sinners, and you mess with them, and that's why you ain't grow. Because see, you think you fooling somebody. You live one kind of way for 6 days out of the week, Sabbath day roll around, then you want to try to act like you done got right, like the Lord don't know what you're doing. Like he ain't sitting upon his throne, sitting here watching you. As if he don't know every thought that enter into your heart. As if he don't hear every word that you speak out your mouth. John chapter 8 and about verse 14. Matter of fact, we're going to come on down. About verse 21. Then said YESHUA again unto them, I go my way, and ye shall seek me, and shall die in your sins. Whither I go, you cannot come. Then said the Jews, will he kill himself, because he saith, whither I go, ye cannot come. And he saith unto them, ye are from beneath, and I am from above. So when Nehemiah sitting here telling these people, I'm sitting up on a great wall, I can't come unto you. This man said there and told you, I'm from heaven, you from above, you earth. He said, you are of this world, I am not of this world. I said therefore unto you that ye shall die in your sins, for if you believe not that I am he, ye shall die in your sins. Then said they unto him, who art thou? And YESHUA said unto them, even the same that I said unto you from the beginning. I have many things to say and judge of you, but he that sent me is true, and I speak to the world those things which I heard of him. They understood not that he spake unto them of the Father. Then said YESHUA unto them, when you lift up the Son of Man, then you shall know that I am he, and that I do nothing of myself, but as my Father taught me, I speak these things. That ain't no different, because as the Lord done taught me, I speak these things. But sit back and look what he told him. He said, when they lift me up. Because he said, I come from above, you from below. He said, you are the world, I'm not of the world. That's what's wrong with some of y'all. This man say, I got a great work. Why should it cease that I come unto you? See, you sitting back, you saying you want to save your soul, you ready to perform a great work, but you coming down to people who not doing it. What type of sense does that make? You desire and want to be with sinners and think it's cool and just be like, well, maybe if he hear the word, maybe he'll turn. You are an idiot and a dummy, and you should burn in hell for being stupid. If God gonna give him a heart to change, that's on the Lord. But why you sitting there trying to intermingle and be interspersed with him? Because you want to come down from the word and go be mingled up with them. And you thinking these people gonna come up to meet you. But guess what? I mean that they gonna come and meet you because you running to them. Why don't you just stay up? And if the Lord, and if they want to be with you, they'll come up. See, y'all come down because you're compromised with people. You're bending your fold. You're bending your fold. That's why you come down to them. Come on over here to John chapter 3. Look what he told them. John chapter 3 verse 12. Look what he told him. That same thing with some of y'all right here, what the Lord was telling Nicodemus. If I have told you earthly things and you believe not, how should you believe if I tell you of heavenly things? And that's what some of y'all, we tell y'all about natural things. You don't even believe that. So what you think gonna happen when we tell you about spiritual things? No, you're not gonna get that. No, you're not gonna get it. No, you're not gonna get it. It ain't gonna register in your brain because you ain't got good sense. No, hold on. You still trying to serve a spiritual God with a natural mind. It ain't gonna work. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Alright. So let's look what he said. And no man ever ascended up to heaven, but he that come down from heaven, even the Son of Man which is in heaven. Because he told these people, I got a great work. I can't come down to you. And that's what some of y'all do. And you know why? Because look what happened about this great work. Let's go over here to Luke chapter 9. Luke chapter 9, verse 23. Matter of fact, make it Luke chapter 14, verse 26. And he says, if any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters and yea, look what he said, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. Whosoever does not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. If you're not willing to suffer, this man said you don't belong to him. Let's see who he told to do the same thing. Genesis chapter 12. Verse 1. He said you got to be willing to separate yourself from these people, even from your own will, lust, and desires. That's what that last part, that's what a lot of y'all ain't willing to do. You ain't willing to separate yourself from your lust and your desires. You still trying to fulfill your lust and your desire and fit them in with God. That's what you're still trying to do. Now Yah said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto the land that I will show thee. Now we just were dealing with last week how this man said, I separated you from amongst other people that you would be mine. And some of y'all still trying to reach back and reach for sinner when the Lord told you, remember Lot's wife. What happened with Lot's wife? She looked back. And what happened when she looked back? She would turn into a pillar of salt. You know what that's sitting back showing you? Go back to sin if you want to. You're going to hell. That's why he told you to remember Lot's wife. What happened? He rained fire and brimstone on Sodom and Gomorrah as an example of the judgment unto those who would live ungodly. She sought to look back, to go back with sinners. She perished. Some of y'all still reaching back to deal with sinners, and you gonna perish because you want to cease from the work and because you want to go down to these people. Makes no sense. He said, I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curse thee. And in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed. So let's see what Abram did. So Abram departed, as Yah had spoken unto him. And guess what? And Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. So you know what Lot seen? I'm going with my uncle because my uncle going in the right way. He went with it. But you see what he did? He told him to leave. The man departed. He separated himself. That's what's like y'all. Y'all don't want to separate yourself. 2 Corinthians chapter 6. Y'all don't want to do that. You still want to be of, you want to claim to be of God and be of the world at the same time. That's how I know. That's why I'm sitting there telling you. You ain't made changes. You ain't been converted. You just modified some stuff. And you thought your modifications would be sufficient. You ain't no different from Cain. You bringing God any type of sacrifice, raggedy sacrifice, and think he's supposed to take it. Then you shocked in the maid when God look you in your face and say, nigga, I don't want that. Bring me that nonsense. 2 Corinthians 6 and 16. He said, what agreement has the temple of God with idols? For ye are the temple of the living God, as God hath said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. Wherefore, come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith Yah, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you, and will be a father unto you, and ye shall be my sons and daughters, saith Yah Almighty. Now who sat back and touched the unclean thing? Let's look what happened when somebody touched the unclean thing. Let's see what happened to him. Joshua the 7th chapter. See what happened when you touch an unclean thing. Joshua chapter 7 verse 1. He said, for the children of Israel committed a trespass in their accursed thing. For Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabadi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, took of their accursed thing, and the anger of Yah was kindled against the children of Israel. And Joshua sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is beside Beth-haven on the east side of Bethel, and spake unto them, saying, go up and view the country. And the men went up and viewed Ai. And they returned to Joshua and said unto him, let not all the people go up, but let them 2,000 or 3,000 men go up and smite Ai. Make not all the people to labor thither, but they brought all few. So they went up thither of the people about 3,000 men, and they fled before the men of Ai. And the men of Ai smote them about 36 men. For they chased them from before the gate, even unto Shebarim, and smote them in the going down. Wherefore the hearts of the people melted and became as water. And Joshua rent his clothes and fell to the earth upon his face before the ark of Yah until the eventide. He and the elders of Israel put dust upon their heads. And Joshua said, alas, O Yah, wherefore hast thou brought all this people over Jordan to deliver us in the hand of the Amorites to destroy us? Would to God we had been content to dwell on the other side of Jordan. O Lord, what shall I say when Israel turn back before their enemies? For the Canaanites and all the inhabitants of the land shall hear of it, and shall environ us round, and cut off our name from earth. What wilt thou do unto thy great name? Now sit back and look at this. Y'all see something here in verse 8 when he says Israel turned their back before their enemies. When Israel turned their back before the enemy, when did the Lord do that? Didn't he turn his back on his enemies? Huh? Oh, I was saying, let's look at Matthew 26, see if he turned his back to his enemies. Matthew chapter 26. About verse 66. He said, what think ye? They answered and said, he is guilty of death. I'm in verse 65, pardon me, I'm sorry. Matthew 26 and 65. I'm sorry, pardon me. Oh, boy. Some sore laps right there, buddy. Some sore laps going on there. Then the high priest rent his clothes, saying, He has spoken blasphemy. What further need have we of witnesses? Behold, now ye have heard his blasphemy. What think ye? They answered and said, He is guilty of death. They did spit in his face, and buffeted him, and others smote them with the palm of their hands, saying, Prophesy unto us, thou Messiah, who is he that smote thee? Because remember what he said in Isaiah, I turned my back to the smiters and them that plucked him. This man said, Israel done turned his back to his enemy. Then they said, look what else he said. Well, in verse 11, verse 9, pardon me. Then he says, Our enemies of the land are environing us to cut off our name from the earth. What will thou do unto thy great name? Did the enemies of Yahshua encircle him about to cut him off? And what did he do for a great name? Didn't he say, Father, glorify thy name? He said, I glorify it and I glorify it again. So what did he do for his name? What did he do for his name? You know what he did for his name? Look like you don't know. What did he do for his name? Huh? Let's say this again, because you're chewing too hard, you ain't paying attention. Say, for the Canaanites and all the inhabitants of the land shall hear of it, and shall environ us, and cut off our name from the earth. What wilt thou do unto thy great name? Look at the verse in 10. And Yah said unto Joshua, Get thee up, wherefore liest thou upon thy face? So now what did he do for a great name? He just told Joshua to get up. What he told the son to do in the grave. Get up. This is what I'm going to do for my great name when your enemies encircle you about to cut you off. I'm going to tell you to get up. All right, look at verse 11. It's Joshua chapter 7. Israel have sinned. They have also transgressed my covenant which I commanded them. For they have taken up the accursed thing, and have also stolen and dissembled also. And they even put it amongst their own stuff. That's what some of y'all do. You transgress the man's covenant, you done touch accursed things, you done touch unclean things, you ain't come from amongst these people, and he said you done put it amongst your own stuff. You done took it and passed it about to other people. You done took it past them sins out to others. You done took it and put it amongst your own stuff. Thank God don't know. Some of y'all think the Lord really, really stupid and that you fooling somebody. And you ain't fooling nobody but yourself. James done already told you. You ain't fooling nobody but yourself. Verse 13. Sanctify the people and say, Sanctify yourselves against tomorrow, for thus saith Yah, God of Israel, there is an accursed thing in the midst of thee, O Israel. Thou cannot stand before thy enemies until you take away the accursed thing from among you. In the morning, therefore, you shall be brought according to your tribes, and it shall be that the tribe which Yah shall take come according to the families thereof, and the family which Yah shall take shall come by households, and the household which Yah shall take shall come man by man. And it shall be that he that is taken with the accursed thing shall be burnt with fire, he and all that he hath, because he transgressed the covenant of Yah, because he hath wrought folly in Israel. Now you see what that touching the accursed things, you see that against you? Let's see what happened to this man when he got caught. Verse 18. And he brought his household man by man. Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, was taken. And Joshua said unto Achan, My son, give, I pray thee, glory to Yah, God of Israel, and make confession unto him, and tell me now what thou hast done, and hide it not from me. Achan answered Joshua and said, Indeed, I sinned against Yah, God of Israel, and thus have I done. See, that's some of y'all ain't willing to do that either. That man say, confess what you did and don't hide it. If some of y'all will ask to confess things you done did, you'll try to hide, son. That's why he told you, he that covereth his sin shall not prosper. But he that confess and forsake them shall have mercy. That's why some of y'all won't get mercy, because you ain't going to confess nothing. You still going to try to hide. He said, when I saw among the spoils a goodly Babylonian garment, 200 shekels of silver and a wedge of gold, of 50 shekels weight, then I coveted them. What's a covetous man? What's another thing for a covetous man? What's another term called, say, and a covetous man is what? He said if a man is covetous, he's also what else? An idolater. Because you mean you worship your belly, you worship your lust, that's your God. That's what these people in this land is. In America, that's what their God is. Their God is money.
Yeah, stubbornness too.
Huh? Yeah, stubbornness is also idolatry as well. He says, so I covered them and took them, and behold, they're hid in the earth in the midst of my tent, and the silver under. And that's what he's going by when he say, he that won't confess his sins not going to prosper. Because that's what you do. That man say he had his lusts. I was lusting after this. Just what we read, don't go after the flesh. He said, and I took it and I hid it. That's going right back to what we talked about earlier. You thinking you straight, oh, I done changed, and all you did is you took your sins and you hid them. You ain't got rid of them. You didn't mortify your members. You didn't toss them to the side. You just took them and you hid them. Because see, come on over here to, I think in 1 Corinthians chapter 3. First Corinthians chapter 3. If I'm not mistaken. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 11. He says, for other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is YESHUA the Messiah. Now if any man build upon this foundation gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble, every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. If a man's work is abide, which he hath built thereupon, he shall receive a reward. That's what you got to sit back and look at. At the end of the day, the Lord going to come try it with heat. He going to try it, and he going to see what type of work it is. And a lot of times, when that pressure get put on you, and you get put in temptation for the Lord to prove out what your work is, you lose. And he sees what manner of work is wrong. And you see what manner of sin is being manifested. Let's sit back and think about that. Lord, try your work. What are you going to see? Let's see what the next verse says. If a man's work shall be burned, he shall suffer loss, but he himself shall be saved, yet so as by fire. So guess what? When he take you through the furnace of affliction, he can prove that work out that you might be saved if you take a loss. If you be willing to lose things. This go back for a reason. Look what happened. Because this was a man who worked with tried by fire, and he had to take a loss. And this is dealing with the salvation of the people, because this is a testimony of the Lord. Come back to Joshua 7. Verse 22. So Joshua sent messengers, and they ran unto the tent, and behold, it was hid in his tent, and the silver under it. And they took him out of the midst of the tent, brought them unto Joshua, unto all the children of Israel, laid them out before Yah. And Joshua and all Israel took Achan the son of Zerah, and the silver, and the garment, and the wedge of gold, and his sons, and his daughters, and his oxen, and his asses, and his sheep, and his tent, and all that he had, and they brought them unto the valley of Achor. And Joshua said, why hast thou troubled us? Yah shall trouble thee this day. And all Israel stoned him with stones, and burned him with fire, after they had stoned him with stones. And they raised over him a great heap of stones unto this day. So Yah turned from the fierceness of his anger. Wherefore the name of that place was called the valley of Achor unto this day. And then they put a great heap of stones over the Lord, and they put him in that sepulchre, because they killed this man so the fierce anger of God could be turned from us, that we might be able to have life. But then we sit back and look at it on our end, not looking at it as a testimony of the Lord. You're going to keep on fooling with the Lord, trying to cover up your sins, touching a cursed thing, touching the stuff. Same thing going to happen to you. Same thing going to happen to you. You're going to get that same reward. You're going to be punished. What was that for that? I think I lost my place. I lost my place. Huh? You alright over there?
Look back.
Huh?
Look back.
Ain't a man. So you alright. Let's see how you got this here, how he anoint the shield. So when we come over here, let's see how he anoints this shield. But before we look at how he anoints the shield, Isaiah chapter 1. We finna get ready to wrap it up. Isaiah chapter 1 and 1. Oh, not bad. Not bad at all. The vision of Isaiah the son of Amos, which he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, Hezekiah, kings of Judah. Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth. For Yah hath spoken, I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled. against me. The ox knows its owner, and the ass his master's crib. But YESHUA do not know, my people do not consider. That's what's wrong with it. You don't know who we belong to. We don't consider, and this man that nourished and brought us up, and we consistently rebel against him, and then had a nerve to say, I'm straight. Look what he tells you in verse 4. A sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken Yah. They have provoked the Kodesh one of Israel unto anger. They have gone away backward. He said, why should you be stricken anymore? You will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint. For the sole of the foot even unto the head there is no soundness in it. But wounds and bruises and putrefying sores, they have not been closed, neither bound up, neither modified with ointment. So come on, Dwight, work with me now. What are you talking about right here in verse 6? Wounds and bruises and putrefying sores, they ain't been closed. He said from the head to the foot. No, you got something to talk about?
Yeah. They haven't been closed. That's the whole, inside portion. That's all.
Let's look at John chapter 20. Because all this here happened when this man took all these wounds, when he told him about the grievous vision, say pains taking hold of him as a woman in travail, told him to rise and eat. Got to kill his lamb. Because before you can eat an animal, you got to kill him first. How many of y'all going to eat him alive? You going to buy a lamb on the back right here? What about you? You hungry? No, you look like you're about to cow on his bite. I don't blame you. I ain't going to eat it either. Guess you know who did that though? That's in the book. They did that during the time of Saul, and they was sitting around there eating raw meat. Just took the animal and killed him, they cooked him a nut, just went to eating him.
So they do milk.
No, I ain't talking about like, oh, let me get him rare, I want him blooded. I'm talking about literally, there's an account in the book of Samuel during the reign of Saul where they come on around here, I'll show you.
You right, you do that. Steak tartare.
No, see, y'all, no, I'm not talking like that. I'm talking about literally taking the animal, killing him, eating him on the spot. Now, see, that's what I'm talking about. 1 Samuel. Yeah, I hear you now.
You don't cook them at all. You don't even put no salt in them.
Sometimes something they make when they take steak and slice it thin and they eat it raw.
First, thank the Lord, he took me straight to it. 1 Samuel 14 and about verse 20. Yeah, verse 20 is good. No, about verse 22. 23 actually, 24. 1 Samuel 14 and 24. And the men of Israel were distressed that day, for Saul had adjured the people, saying, Cursed be the man that eat any food until evening, that I may be avenged on my enemies. So none of the people tasted any food. And all they of the land came to a wood, and there was honey upon the ground. And when the people were coming to the wood, behold, the honey dropped. But no man put his hand to his mouth, for the people feared the oath. But Jonathan heard not when his father charged the people with the oath. Wherefore he put forth the end of the rod that was in his hand, and dipped it into the honeycomb, and put his hand to his mouth, and his eyes were enlightened. Y'all remember what Samson said about the honey? Remember he said the sweetness come out the strong? This man said he put his rod into the honey, and his eyes were enlightened. I mean, his eyes were open. Remember this man said he called the blind unto the feast. That's what we sitting back looking at for judgment. I came to take those who were blind to give them sight. Now we know Jonathan wasn't literally blind, but it said his eyes were enlightened. I mean, his eyes were open. Then answered one of the people and said, Thy father straightly charged the people with an oath, saying, Cursed be the man that eat any food this day, and the people were faint. Then said Jonathan, My father had troubled the land. See, I pray you, how my eyes have been enlightened, because I taste a little of the honey. See, come on over here to Psalm 119. Let me show you something. You come back to 1 Samuel 14. To Psalm 119. Psalms 119, verse 103. Because you know what the Lord told you, blessed are those that hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled. And let's see what David wrote here in Psalm 119, 103. Look what he tells. How sweet is thy words unto my taste, yea, sweeter than honey to my mouth. That's the same thing happened with Ezekiel when he told him to eat that roll. He said it was like honey for sweetness. Don't you know when you taste the sweetness of this man's word, your eyes should be open? When you tasted the sweetness of the word, was your eyes open? That's what he's sitting there telling you. He said, when I took these things, I was enlightened. Come on back here to 1 Samuel 14 and 29. That man said, when I tasted a little bit of this honey, I was enlightened. And see, some of y'all have tasted a little bit of this word and you done been enlightened. So why you sitting around playing? Why you procrastinating and pretending and wanting to be righteous in front of one group of people, but being your real self around others? If you're going to be a sinner 7 days a week. And if you're going to be a saint, then be a saint 7 days a week. If you're going to be converted, then cast that stuff away from you. Don't sit around here and try to make modifications and hide stuff in your tent like H.N. did. Don't hide it in your tent. Go ahead and expose it and be seen so you can get that stuff rid of you before you end up like he did. He said, verse 30, how much more if happily the people had eaten freely today of the spoil of their enemies which they found? For there had not been much a greater slaughter among the Philistines. And they smote the Philistines that day from Michas to Ajalon. And the people were very faint. And the people flew upon the spoil and took sheep and oxen and calves and slew them on the ground. And the people did eat them with the blood. Say he didn't cook. See, they were just that. And that's how some of y'all be. Y'all be feel like because you done restrained yourself from something. And that first opportunity when you weak in the flesh and it pop up in your face, you ready to jump on it. See, that's what he told you in the wilderness. He said, I took you to humble you, to prove thee that whether you would keep my commandments or no. That's why Paul told you in the wilderness he was not well pleased with many of them, and they were cut off as an example that you should not lust after evil things. That's what happened with Buddy in Joshua 7. He lusted after evil things. These people sit here, man, I'm hungry, I can't take it. And they're going to eat a raw sheep, raw oxen. Because you lust. You around here lusting. But they didn't have to go back there. They had to sit there and show you. Just sit there and show you. Them people sat there. Hold on. Look what else he said. Look what happened to him. They said they told Saul, saying, behold, the people sin against Yah, that they eat with the blood. And he said, ye have transgressed. Roll a great stone unto me this day. And said, disperse yourselves among the people, and say unto them, bring me hither every man his ox, every man his sheep, and slay them here and eat. And sin not against Yah, eating with the blood. And all the people brought every man his ox with him that night, and slew them there. And Saul built an altar unto Yah. The same was the first altar that he built unto Yah. And Saul said, let us go down after the Philistines by night, and spoil them in the morning light. And let us not leave a man of them. And they said, do so whatsoever seemed good unto thee. Then said the priest, let us draw near hither unto God. And Saul asked counsel of God, shall I go down after the Philistines? Wilt thou deliver them into the hand of Israel? But he answered him not that day. And Saul said, draw ye near hither all the chief of the people, and know and see whether this sin have been this day. And you know why you sit back and you look at it, where Saul transgressed at? Where did Saul transgress at? His transgression is when he sat down and he built that altar. He had no business doing that. That didn't pertain to you. The people had sinned by eating the blood. He made it worse, talking about let me do this right here. Then he went against his own oath. That's why he tell you it's better for you to vow and keep it than to vow and not keep it. That's why I tell you it's better for you not to do it. I mean, I meant to say it's better for you not to do it at all. I done seen dudes say, I done took an oath to God. You sure better keep it. You sure better keep it. But come on back over here to what John chapter 20. You just were mentioning that. Now I know that's pretty much the same, but I was talking about literally they took the animal, killed him, and ate him on the spot. They didn't even get the fur off.
Should have got the fur off. Can't eat fur.
Man, it looks from the sounds of it like it's gonna be eaten.
That's part of that skin.
They probably ain't even skinning.
That's part of that. You ever seen somebody clean a deer or a pig or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the skin first on.
I would hope. I don't know if they did that. Them niggas were hungry. Them niggas were hungry. Said we ain't got time for it. John chapter 20, about verse 24. He said, but Thomas, one of the 12, called Didymus, was not with them when YESHUA came. The other disciples therefore said unto him, we have seen the Lord. But he said unto them, except I shall see in his hand the print of the nails, and put my finger into the print of the nail, and thrust my hand into his side, I will not believe. And after 8 days again his disciples were within, and Thomas with them. Then came YESHUA, the doors being shut, and stood in the midst, and said, peace be unto you. Then saith he to Thomas, reach hither thy finger, and behold my hands, and reach hither thy hand, and thrust it into my side, and be not faithless, but believing. And Thomas answered and said unto him, my Lord and my God. YESHUA said unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. But blessed are they that have not seen, and yet have believed. And many other signs truly did YESHUA in the presence of his disciples, which are not written in this book. But these are written that you might believe that YESHUA is the Messiah, the Son of God, and that believing you might have life through his name. Because through this belief, this is how you receive the Spirit. Now this man talking about there was no mollifying ointments, there was no soundness in his head, and those wounds were not closed. And all this went back to because he was not coming down. See, he told these people, I'm from heaven, you from above. You are the flesh, I'm of the Spirit. You are the world, I'm not of the world. So you sit back and look at it. Why have you not departed from these people? Why are you still trying to be mingled from these people when he told you, touch not the unclean thing, come out from among them and be separate? YESHUA said, sanctify them with the truth, thy word is truth, and I have sanctified myself by the truth, that they might sanctify themselves by the truth. Meaning you should be setting yourself apart for the word. Let's see if they asked this man to come down and he didn't come down. Matthew chapter 27. Because this man said you need to take up your cross daily and follow me. And he that doesn't take up his cross, he said you can't be my disciple. You're not worthy of me. So you have to sit back and ask yourself, why are you not willing to die to your flesh? Why are you not willing to suffer in the flesh like YESHUA suffered in the flesh to cease from sin? Because you're not worthy of God. That's all it boils down to it. Because you want to come down. You don't want to stay up. Matthew 27. Let me get on round now. About verse 40. Not 40. Let's make it about verse 39. No, 38. Then there were two thieves that crucified with him, one on the right hand, another on the left. And they that passed by reviled him, wagging their heads, saying, thou that destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save thyself. If thou be the Son of God, come down from the cross. Likewise, also the chief priests mocking him, with the scribes and elders said, he saved others, himself he cannot save. If he be the King of Israel, let him now come down from the cross, and we will believe him. He trusted in God, let him deliver him now, if he will have him, for he said, I am the Son of God. Now when we go back and look at Nehemiah, that's the same thing that men were doing. They were coming to mock this man. They were enemies of God. They sitting there telling him, why don't you come down? Now these men came and told YESHUA, if you be the Son of God, why won't you come down? He didn't say a word to him. What are you going to come down for? He performing a great work. It's meant for me to die. John 18 and 37. I got to come do this. John 18:37. He said, Pilate therefore said unto him, art thou a king then? YESHUA answered, thou say I'm a king. To this end was I born, and for this cause I came into the world. And that I should bear witness unto the truth. Everyone that is of the truth, hear my voice. So it boils down, you ain't hearing the Lord's voice because you're not of the truth. It is what it is. God told it to you. I ain't say it. I ain't say it. Lord told it to you. You're not of the Lord. You're not of the Word. You're not of God. That's a hard pill to swallow. It's a hard pill to swallow. What we gonna do about it? That man say, for this cause I came into the world was to die. I had to be lifted up. I'm not coming down. No, Exodus chapter 17. He finna get ready to wrap it up. Because he said, why? Because he said there couldn't be no mollifying for the ointments. I gotta anoint the shield. So we'll sit back and see how he anointed the shield. And we're gonna get out of here. Exodus chapter 17. Because if he come down, then we don't prevail, then we lose. If he come down, we lose. If he listen to these men and say, okay, I got to prove to you I'm the Son of God, I'll come on down. Exodus 17, by verse 9. said unto Joshua, choose out men and go out, fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in my hand. So Joshua did as Moses said unto him, and fought with Amalek, and Moses and Aaron and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And it came to pass when Moses held up his hand that Israel prevailed, and when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him. And he sat thereon, and Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, the one on one side and the other on the other side, and his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. What time did Yeshua come down off that tree? At the going down of the sun. He didn't come down till he was dead and the work was finished. Ain't that what he told him? It's finished, right? That's what he said about John 19:31. Let's make sure I ain't want to quote the man wrong. I don't want nobody to be like, see, he know what he talking about. Let's make sure that's what the man said. John 19:30. He said it's finished. Then he came down. Because after that, they said they begged for the body to come down. The work's finished. Now I can come down. See, some of y'all, the work is not finished. He said, he that endured to the end, the same shall be saved. So if your work's not finished, what you coming down to sinners for? It makes no sense. Y'all already been told, evil communication corrupt good matter. This man said, I'm performing a great work. Why should the work cease for me to come down to you? Now we sit back looking at, they come to the Lord and say, if you be the Son of God, come down off this cross. This man say, take up your cross and follow me. Take up your cross and follow me. So they kept this man's hands up until the going down of the sun. They say when his hands went down, the enemy prevailed. If Yeshua come down, Satan prevailed because death prevailed. You already been told he tossed the right hand of Yah and tossed the enemy in the sea. Death has been destroyed. He's taking captivity captive. Now you can sit back and look at that. What you coming down for? Exodus 17, one more time. Look at what he said now. On the other side, his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. So you sit back and look at it. Yeshua, the sword of God. Death was destroyed with the edge of the sword. It was taken out. And look who he said did it. Joshua did it. Yeshua did it. So you sit back and look at it. Not coming down. What you coming down for? This man say, I am from above, you are from beneath. See, look at 1 Corinthians 15 chapter. We finna get ready to wrap up. 1 Corinthians 15. 1 Corinthians 15. Let's look at about verse 44. Make it about 42. So also is the resurrection of the dead. It is sown in corruption, it is raised in incorruption. Because remember, he said, alright, we got to anoint the shield. See, when he came down, then it was time to anoint the shield. Yeshua is the shield. That's your protection. But see, a lot of people, they don't want to do so. Hold this 1 Corinthians 15. Let me show you something. Philippians chapter 3, verse 18. Make it about verse 14. Philippians 3 and 14. Keep this in mind. Because when you're dealing with people who want you to come down, because Yeshua said, I can't come down. They say, if you be the Son of God, come down off the cross, then we'll believe. And that's what these people, that's the line when people come tell you this here, you too heavenly minded to be any earthly good. I know it. Because I won't come down. You want me to come down and meet you. You don't want to come up and meet me. I can't come down to meet you. Yeshua didn't come down to meet these people. And I'm going to come down and meet you. Nigga, you crazy. This man had to stay up there because these wounds couldn't be closed. There wasn't no modifying on. But the man told you by this man's stripes, you healed. That's why he left the stuff on him. By these wounds, you could be healed. Y'all don't even want to be healed. I don't understand it. Matter of fact, make it about verse 13. Listen what this man said. He said, brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, and we're reaching forth unto those things which are before. That's what some of y'all ain't do. You ain't forgot that stuff that's behind you and reaching towards the things that before you. You still call yourself trying to reach in front while you still trying to, with your other hand, reach to the back. You're going to lose. You're going to fail. That makes no sense. That means you discombobulated. You double-minded. That means you ain't stable in your ways. And the Lord ain't going to do nothing for double-minded individual. He said, I press towards the mark of the prize of the high calling of God and the Messiah Yeshua. Let us therefore as many be perfect, be thus minded. And if anything be ye otherwise minded, God shall reveal this unto you. Nevertheless, whereto we have already attained, let us walk by the same rule, let us mind the same thing. Brethren, be ye followers together of me, and mark them which walk, so as ye have for us for an example. For many walk, of whom I've told you often, and now tell you even weeping, that they are enemies of the cross of the Messiah. There are people out here who hate God. They don't want to suffer. They want you to come down unto them. They want you to cease from the work. They want you to come off the cross and prove you a son of God then. If God, if you trusted in God, and he'll have you come down, and we'll believe God is true and you a son of God. And some of y'all stupid enough to do it. You'll come right down off that tree. Man say, well, shoot, I guess the work done. I got stuff to do, but I ain't going to finish it because they want me to come down to them. Lord said, I got a work to finish. I can't come to you. I got to stay up here. See, that man did not come up off of there until it was finished. Then he came down. Then you can anoint the shield. He said, who end is destruction, who God is their belly, whose glory is in their shame, who mind earthly things. That's what got Achan in trouble. That's what gets some of y'all in trouble, because your God is your lust, and you mind the things in his life. You are driven by temporary things, because you are a temporary individual, but you're going to burn in hell forever. And it don't even bother. He said, my people don't even consider. He said, this is a sinful nation, a seed of evildoers. Don't even consider. He said, for our behavior is in heaven, from whence also we look for the Savior, the Lord, YESHUA the Messiah. See what he told him? My behavior is here. I'm from above. I'm not from beneath. My behavior is here. That means I'm not coming down to meet you on your earthly things. Because my behavior is here. Because if your behavior in heaven, that means you up there. I ain't seeking the things that's down here. That's why he say watch and pray, because the spirit is willing, the flesh is weak. Which one you going to let win? Who shall change our body, that it might be fashioned like unto his glorious body, according to the working whereby he is able even to subdue all things unto himself. Back over here to 1 Corinthians 15. I'm going to get ready to let y'all depart. 1 Corinthians 15 and 42. So also is the resurrection of the dead. It is sown in corruption. It is raised in incorruption. It is sown in dishonor. It is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness. It is raised in power. It is sown a natural body. It is raised a spiritual body. There is a natural body and there is a spiritual body. And so it is written, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul. The last Adam was made a quickening spirit. Howbeit that was not first which is spiritual, but that which is natural, and afterward that which is spiritual. See, that's where they mess up at when they tell you that Adam was made to live forever. When the man sitting here telling you, first Adam was natural, he wasn't spiritual. The first man is of the earth, earthy, and the second Adam is the Lord from heaven. I always sat back and look at it. We got to be here and not to come down, because now he done elevated it. Before we were here, but the Lord came and he was there, and he told her, I can't come down to meet this here. Even when he came down, what happened to him? He rose up again. Rose up again, because he had to anoint the shield. Come on back over here to Isaiah 21 part here. I just want you to look at verse 6. Look what he telling him right here in verse 6. We're going to wrap him up. He said, for thus hath Yah said unto me, go set a watchman, let him declare what he see. So what you think they're talking about? Setting up a watchman to go declare what he see. Luke chapter 24. Verse 46. I'll make it 44. Might as well. Luke 24 and 44. And he said unto them, these are the words which I spake unto you while I was yet with you, that all things must be fulfilled which were written in the law of Moses and in the prophets and in the Psalms concerning me. Then opened he their understanding, that they might understand the scriptures. And again, and said unto them, thus it is written, and thus it behooved the Messiah to suffer, and to rise from the dead the third day, and that repentance and remission of sins should be preached in his name among all nations, beginning at Jerusalem. And ye are witnesses of these things. Behold, I send the promise of my Father upon you, but tarry ye in the city of Jerusalem until you be endowed with power from on high. Now he done set some watchmen to go declare. Acts chapter 9. Actually chapter 10. Chapter 10 and about verse 37. Make it 34. Then we go to John 5 and 39 and call it Acts 10 and 34. Then Peter opened his mouth and said, Of a truth I perceive that God is no respecter of persons. But in every nation he that fear him and work righteousness is accepted with him. The word which God sent unto the children of Israel, preaching peace by YESHUA the Messiah, he is Lord of all. That word I say, you know, which is published throughout all Judea, began from Galilee, after the baptism which John preached. How God anointed YESHUA of Nazareth with the Ruach HaKodesh and with power, who went about doing good, healing all that were oppressed of the devil, for God was with him. And we are witnesses of all these things, of all things which he did, both in the land of the Jews and in Jerusalem, whom they slew and hanged with tree. Him God raised up the third day and showed him openly. Not to all the people, but unto witnesses chosen before God, even to us who did eat and drink with him after he rose from the dead. Because did they eat and drink with him too? Right there in Luke chapter 24 now. And he commanded us to preach unto the people and to testify that it is he which was ordained of God to be judge of quick and dead. To him give all the prophets witness that through his name whosoever believe in him shall receive remission of sins. Because remember, this man said there's no modified ointment on your wounds. Through these stripes you heal. This man, through this man's suffering and all these things, being killed, not coming down from the cross, it was for your sins to be forgiven, that you might believe on him. And if you believe on this man, why are you walking contrary to him? Luke chapter 6 verse 46, this man said, why you call me Lord, Lord, and don't do the things that I say? Because you don't hear his voice, because you not of the truth. So if you sit here hearing this man telling you to do something, you don't do it, the word has got you. You not of God. What you going to do about that? You can continue to be a seed of evildoer, you're going to continue to be laden with iniquity, or you're going to humble yourself as a child and obey God's word. John chapter 5 verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And ye will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of God in you. I come in my Father's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one of another, and seek not the honor that comes from God only? Do not think that I will accuse you to the Father. There is one that accuses you, even Moses, in whom ye trust. For had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words? Hallelujah for YESHUA for the word. Y'all understood all these things this evening.